So theoretically, this should be the last episode of fabrication on this GS750. We're getting very, very close. Just the last couple details. So I've got a new seat here. In the previous video, I shaped all the foam, got all that done, and then I sent it to an upholsterer, and he made that and put it on the bike for me. All right, so check this out. My battery is under here, tucked away. You won't even really be able to see it. My relay is tucked away under here. You also won't be able to see that. All the wiring can then tuck underneath the tank. And this will all work out super clean. I'm actually really happy with how this has turned out. And the cool thing is those are pretty much like the last two pieces that I needed to fabricate on this build. We are now officially into the part where I can weld everything up, tear it all down, get the frame powder coated, and do like a final assembly. So yeah, this is like a big moment in the build that I've been waiting for a long time. Yeah, time to get this bike stripped down and welded up. so I got pretty much everything welded up and sanded down, made this all nice and smooth and flush. Next thing to do is pretty much just to do this under tray here. All right, so everything's welded up, the seat latch is done, and that kind of brings me to my final piece that I have to do before sending it off to powder coat, which is making a mount for a front fender. So I just picked up this kind of generic front fender that I can sit on top of there, and I just need to make some mounts for that. So what I've got here is I've got just some like 1/4-inch steel rod, and I'm gonna make something kind of just to utilize the factory fender mounts, come up, probably bend in and mount to that fender. Once I have that, then I can send these off to get powder coated with everything, and we'll be good to go. So here we go, I got the front fender done. I really like how like clean and minimal this looks. These bars, this is basically some machinist rod. Just bent that up and that should do pretty good. It's nice and low profile. I'm just gonna powder coat those when I do the whole thing. So that's kind of like good news, and I have some bad news. That's all done, and that's pretty much the last thing before powder coating. The seat latch works as well, but the bad news is there's a bit of a gap here, which I'm not super happy about. It just doesn't sit as good as I want it to. And I think a lot of that's because, here, let me pop this off. A lot of that's because this latch is just so far off to one side versus being in the middle. So I think I need to correct this, which, yeah, kind of sucks. So I'll probably have to move this to the middle and maybe move it farther back. So maybe cut out this tube and move that whole thing farther back. So that's pretty much par for the course for this whole bike. I put probably like 10% of what I actually do into these videos because so much of my time is just spent like redoing something for the second or third time. Even with this swing arm, I had to like sand this down so much here to get that swing arm to fit because everything moved while I was welding, even though I braced it. Just all this extra time of doing everything. So I'm not gonna film this. I'm just gonna probably get this whole seat done, maybe move this latch, figure that whole part out. But next video that you guys will probably see is this all coming back from powder coating and doing a final assembly. I also want to take my engine and get it dry ice blasted, clean that up, try and make it look all brand new. So yeah, that's it for this one. Pretty much all the fabrication work is done except for that little thing that I have to fix. Next video will probably be getting the bike back from powder coating and doing like a final assembly. So yeah, we're getting close.